It's quiet in the dark. The air is thick, heavy with the weight of history. You step into a place where time seems to pause, and the walls whisper secrets you can't quite hear. You're not alone. There's a machine here, humming softly, its breath echoing through the silence. It's not just a tool. It's a witness to the unseen, a keeper of the past. In this space, the past isn't buried. It's encoded. It's in the heat, in the patterns, in the way the machine reads the silence and turns it into something tangible. This is not just a story about machines. It's a story about how we remember, how we hold on to what was, even when the world has moved on. And so we begin, not with a question, but with a silence. A silence that speaks louder than words, and a machine that listens to it. Thermal tomography is not a simple scan. It's a quiet, persistent gaze into the hidden layers of the world, peeling back the surface to reveal what lies beneath, often without a sound. It's a tool that listens to the heat, tracing the faintest echoes of warmth or cold through the earth, like a voice from the past trying to be heard through layers of silence. Thermal tomography doesn't just reveal what's there, it reveals what's not. It draws the line between what was and what is, between the past and the present, between the known and the unknown. It's a kind of archaeology of the modern world, digging not with shovels, but with heat, uncovering the quiet, slow decay of what was built and what was buried. In this way, thermal tomography is not just a tool. It's a kind of memory, one that doesn't speak in words, but in warmth, in silence, in the weight of what we've left behind. You think you're immune to the cold? But it's not just your body that feels it. It's the ground beneath your feet, the walls of your home, the air you breathe. These are not just objects. They are the silent witnesses to time. Thermal tomography is more than a tool. It's a mirror that reflects how we live, how we build, how we ignore the quiet decay of the world around us. It shows us what we've forgotten to see. This technology is not about saving money. It's about saving lives. It's about understanding the unseen forces that shape our world and the cost of neglect. Thermal tomography is a quiet revolution, one that doesn't make noise but changes everything. It's not just about heat, it's about truth, about the past and the future we're building without looking. In the end, we all live in the same world. We all feel the cold when it comes. And if we don't pay attention now, we'll be paying the price for it later, long after we're gone. In 1965, a team of physicists in the Soviet Union first mapped the Earth's subsurface using thermal imaging, a breakthrough that would redefine how we see beneath our feet. They called it thermal tomography, a way to peer into the unseen, to listen to the planet's silent heartbeat through the language of heat. Yet, with each scan, they carved out a path through the unknown, tracing tunnels and voids that had long since been forgotten. The work was a quiet revolution, a way to see the world not as it is, but as it has always been, buried, hidden, and waiting to be found. And in that moment, the past and present merged, a tunnel vision that saw through time as well as stone. Imagine you're holding a flashlight in the dark, but instead of light, it shows heat. You shine it on a wall and it glows where something is hiding. That light isn't just showing you what's there. It's showing you what's not there. It's like a secret map of where heat is gone. The flashlight isn't just a tool. It's a storyteller. It tells you about the world in a way that no eye can see, no hand can touch. And that's what makes it special. It doesn't just show you what's there. It shows you what time has left behind. The process begins with a quiet, deliberate setup, where the landscape is measured not in miles, but in millimeters. Each sensor is a small, unassuming device, yet it holds the power to see through the Earth's hidden layers. The setup is not just about placement, it's about patience, about letting the earth speak through its own stillness. Every sensor is a question, and the earth is the only one who knows the answer. In this moment, the future of the site is already being mapped, even before the first data point is recorded. The system then uses a series of heat-sensitive sensors, arranged in a precise grid, to detect the faintest temperature variations across the surface. Each sensor records the thermal signature of the ground, translating it into a data stream that reflects the hidden structures beneath. The process is slow, methodical, and precise, like peeling back the layers of time, revealing what has been buried for decades, or even centuries. It is not about speed, but about accuracy, about uncovering the truth hidden beneath the surface, even when it is not meant to be found. Every scan is a journey into the past, a silent dialogue with the earth, revealing what it has chosen to keep hidden. The third step is where the machine begins to see beyond the surface. It doesn't just detect heat, it interprets it, mapping the hidden world beneath with a kind of silent intelligence. This is where the science becomes almost poetic. The machine doesn't just record temperature, it traces the echoes of energy, revealing the unseen architecture of the earth. The twist is not in the technology, but in the way it listens. It doesn't force an answer. It waits until the ground speaks through the heat. This is how it works. Step 3. Not with force, but with patience. The machine doesn't see. It hears the whispers of the earth and translates them into truth. The heat is not just energy. It's memory. Every particle trapped in stone, every fragment of ancient fire, holds a story that time has not yet erased. Thermal tomography listens to the silence between the rocks, translating the echoes of buried warmth into a language of depth and decay. We trace the heat like we trace the remains of a forgotten civilization. Each pulse, each shadow, is a whisper from the past, begging to be heard. The science hums in the background, steady, quiet, like the breath of the earth itself. It does not speak, but it remembers. Imagine a city where the streets are invisible, but the buildings still stand, their walls humming with secrets only the earth can hear. A person walks through this city, not seeing the streets, but feeling the ground beneath him shift and pulse with hidden life. It's like trying to find a melody in the silence, or a heartbeat in the dark. You can feel it, but you can't see it. Thermal tomography is that melody, that heartbeat. It reveals the unseen, the hidden, the things that are always there, waiting to be understood. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.